And I used to be like, oh, I don't need that. Like what's a sports psych gonna tell me? Like I'm already tough. Like I already know how to wrestle. But it really helped me to be able to dissociate myself from wrestling to some degree. So what I mean by that is like no matter if I win or lose, I'm still Mitch Finesilver. That's gonna be the same for me for the rest of my life. And he'd always say he's like, you don't have to be special when you go out on the mat. If you did the right things in the wrestling room, you don't have to be special. You just got to be you. And I really took that to heart, and I think that got me to a point in my career where I was like, like why am I putting so much pressure on myself? Because it's just causing me to tighten up in big moments. And there'd be times when I'd wrestle free, and then I'd get to a big match, and I'd tighten up, and you know, it'd be a 1-1 match, and I'd barely win off of like a last second takedown when I'm in reality I probably could have gone out and scored 2 or 3 takedowns. And once you kind of get that mentality, like I feel like the best when I've wrestled the best times in my career is when I've had that. I'm either going to win or lose. Let's go out and have fun with this, and put your best foot forward, try to be the best version of you that you can possibly be in that moment. And that kind of helped me, I think, get over the hump. I kind of my senior year, unfortunately, I wanted to win a national title, but I got upset by Austin O'Connor. Me and him had wrestled 6 times that year.
Yeah.
I think going into that quarterfinal match, I was 3-1 against him. And to his credit, he prepared well. He had a good game plan for the match, and he beat me in overtime. And after that, I remember I would be pretty superstitious, and I'd always wear same warm-ups, same t-shirt underneath warm-ups, all this stuff. And I got to the point where I was like, why am I superstitious about this stuff? And I remember going into that blood round match my senior year, and I was like, all right, like this jacket that I'm wearing every time I warm up, it is hot and it's sweaty and I'm uncomfortable. So I was like, I'm taking this off because if I win or lose, I at least want to be comfortable. And like that's literally what I thought. And
Yeah.
I was like, it is like let's just wrestle. At the end of the day, it's just wrestling. And I went out and I won that blood round match and was able to wrestle through and end up getting to third, fourth, and ironically, I ended up wrestling Austin O'Connor again. So me and him are 3-3 in our career. He's my last 2 college losses, unfortunately, but it worked out. It makes it feel a little bit better that he ended up in going to win 2 more national titles after. So
Yeah.
he's nobody.
He's definitely not a nobody. So what I think is super interesting about, your story when with sports psychology is like you're not going to change who you are whether you accomplish the results aren't going to change who you are. And I think it's almost counterintuitive when we talk about how you have this kind of routine and this superstition with your jacket. And it's
Mhm.
like you were able to kind of in a way kind of free yourself by taking off the jacket. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? And
100%.
it's like on the one hand, it's like this is so important to you, but at the same time, it's like the reason you're doing it maybe necessarily isn't going to be the result, and that kind of allows you to kind of get the result.
Yeah, 100%.
Which
And
it's kind of a weird thing to coach, and it's also a weird thing maybe to like talk to somebody that doesn't quite understand that. You know what I mean?
I remember my senior year, and again, this came from working with that sports psych. I had like a ton of superstitions. I would try to break one of them each new competition. So by the end of the year, I basically had them all like casted off of me. And I just could wrestle free. But it is a weird thing to think about. Like I think there's a difference between routine and superstition, right? A routine is good because it lets your body know that it's getting ready for a match time routine, you're getting warmed up, stuff like that. But superstition, they can hold you back. And if it's something that's holding you back in big moments, that's a problem. That's got to be addressed.
Do you talk about some of your other superstitions?
I'm trying to think. I was a big like wear the same stuff. So like jacket, shirt
Yeah.
underneath, same underwear, socks. If it's 2-day tournament, and this is probably kind of gross, and people are gonna judge me for this, I'd let them hang and dry, and I'd just put them back on right before instead of putting a new shirt on, and it was stuff like that. I
That's
had
pretty
this other
common in
one
wrestling, though. You know what I mean? People wearing the
that
same stuff.
That is a common one. I had this other one where if I would get a bad thought in my head, and I don't know, it started when I was in high school, I would knock on wood. You know the expression like knocking on wood? So I'd go and I'd find wood. So if it was like a gym floor, I'd go knock on the wood floor, or I'd find a broom handle, and that
Oh
was
my
a little
gosh.
crazy. Yeah. But it helped me when I was in state, like in high school, and I remember doing that before my state finals matches. And I don't know, whenever I'd get a good thought, or a bad thought, I would do that, and you start to realize that doesn't really have that big of an impact.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I had any like superstitions. Like I would definitely I would try to have like the same song would play
Mm,
before I wrestled. It was Simple Man by Leonard Skinner.
it's a good
So
one.
I would play that song, over and over again. And yeah, I don't know. When I was in college, I stopped doing that. I was like, all right, I've moved on. But I don't know. I'm trying to figure out if it was that a superstition or was it a routine. I think it definitely kind of helped me get ready for my match. But I
Yeah.
think on one hand, I also kind of relied on it a little bit too much because like if I didn't finish the song, it would like I don't know somehow mess with my mind. So yeah, it's weird how many like superstitions there are with sports and people competing like that.